Good morning. Okay, let's have a look. Check it out. Bitcoin. Let's always start with Bitcoin because that's going to set the course for the rest of the day. So, have a look. All right, so yesterday a little bit of a squeeze, I think, to push up. I had an inkling about the squeeze. That's why in my video, in the title for my yesterday's video, it was, don't know if anyone noticed, but yesterday's title was BTC short squeeze soon. And there was a little bit of a squeeze. So I'm going to show you. Let me pull this up. Okay. Let me change my screen. Can you see that? So the price actually yesterday morning was doing the stream. It was kind of around here. No, it wasn't. It was here. It was around here. It was kind of ranging here at about 11 or so. And it was already looking quite bullish because you basically coming into the lows, you're making a higher low, you can't, it was unable to take out this low, and then the price came back above these local highs and it came back into this kind of previous range. See how the price comes back into the previous range? That's already a sign of strength when you get that kind of behavior where the previous local lows don't hold as resistance, and if you can see, the price comes back to test these previous highs, these local highs, not lows, highs. See, the price comes back to test. So you can kind of see that the price recaptured this previous local range. It's pretty obvious. Compounding that with a higher low here. And what was interesting about the lows here is that there was a little bit of there was a bunch of shorts entering. So coming down into the lows here, you can see that there are shorts entering. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you've got like open interest increasing. Well, these are longs, some shorts there, some shorts there. Let me have a look. This was a long closing. There was a short right there. There was a short. There's a couple of big shorts here. You can see because you've got increasing OI, prices going down, negative delta. There was shorts coming in here. There was a big long here out of the low, and the long didn't close, and so obviously if it was trapped, the price had gone lower, then it's possible that that long could have been liquidated or closed. And to close, it has to close at market, which pulls the price down. So you had a few longs coming in here, and then basically as the price starts to kind of come up, you're starting to see shorts closing. So you see how the OI goes down, the price goes up. The OI goes down, the price is going up. As the OI is going down, you can see the price is going up, so that's shorts closing. So it's a little bit of a hint when you have shorts closing. And then you have longs entering with increasing open interest. So you see here, these are all longs opening increasing open interest. So that means they're opening on leverage. And effectively what happened, or what was happening, was you had shorts which were entering this down move. You can see how the CVD is going down, and then you can see here how the OI is going up. And then what happened was eventually enough shorts were closing, and then it just started squeezing up. You had longs enter. These are longs. So you had quite high leverage longs here. You had 3.7 million in OI, 1.4 million. Longs are entering, and then here you have the short squeeze. The squeeze this wasn't a liquidation, it was just shorts closing at market. So you can see minus 4.3, minus 6.2, minus 1.3. So they were leveraged and they just closed at market, and they were quite big shorts, and they just pulled the price up. This here is let me have a look. Looks like longs are closing and longs are opening together. But effectively we had a little bit of a short squeeze yesterday, and then it kind of ranged. Now here you can see the OI is going down significantly. So these are longs closing. See that? Longs are closing. And then the price goes up. You have OI closing again, so you have shorts closing. So you have longs closing, you have shorts closing. You have a lot of people closing. And that basically is indication of uncertainty. This OI dropping up here, that's a long closing. Then you have a few longs opening in the highs. And that's quite dangerous, because then they got trapped. And then they closed immediately. They opened and then they closed immediately, and it pulled the price down. But effectively yesterday we had a little bit of a short squeeze, and now we're kind of ranging in this upper range right now. One thing to note on XO charts is that the CVD is actually going higher, and we're making slightly lower highs. You see that? So from this pivot here down to this one, you can see how, if you look at the CVD, pull that down, I don't know how to pull it down. Come down. All right, never mind. You can see how the CVD is pushing up, and then the highs are getting lower and lower and lower. So there's a little bit of bearish divergence in this range. Effectively what that means, and I'll keep on repeating myself because some people might come and they might not know what that means. Effectively you've got larger limits shorts which are absorbing the price. So as the price is being bought up, the price isn't going up. So the price is going up because of market buys. Now the market buys could be leveraged longs, or it could be shorts closing. That pulls the price up, but the price isn't going up even though the CVD is going up. So effectively what it means is that larger limit sales are absorbing the price when it goes up. Very slight bearish divergences here. On the higher time frame, when I expand this a little bit, I'm not seeing it. It's only on the local time frame. If I change this to a higher time frame, 4 hours, I'm not seeing the same thing. So it's only on the very local time frame that I'm seeing some sort of very local bearish divergences. When you zoom into the current price action, you can see there's some shorts opening here. See that? OI going up, price going down. There's some shorts opening here. This just now, a short just closed at market. This candle here, that was a long closing. So you have longs closing, you have shorts closing. you have shorts entering, you have not many leverage longs coming in right now. Not many longs coming in. Right, so that's kind of how it looks like at the moment. There was a little bit of bearish CVD, but it just the CVD just made a higher high, and the price has just made a little bit of a higher high. So there isn't, that's fine, that looks normal. So actually, even though there was some bearish CVD here, in the current price action, it looks like there isn't really anything going on. It's just ranging at the moment, and so it's a little bit of indecision. I think there's a little bit of indecision. That's what I can see, because there's a lot of everything going on. There's a lot of shorts closing, there's a lot of longs closing, there's a lot of shorts opening. I can't see many longs opening though. I'm not like seeing lots of longing. There's a little bit. See, that's a long opening there. Not much. Not much. So that's something to have a look at. And then if I go back to my BTC chart, and so I'll bring my other window up. Oh, good morning, Jayway. Buy ARV, nice travel coin as well, and they have app. Check ARV chart, ARV. Okay, I'm going to have a look at it. Not right now. I'll have a look at it a little bit later in the stream. So if you're still on, I'll do it live. And then if you're not, I'll probably just do it and then cut it up into some kind of segment. Oh, I'll keep an eye on that. So we have our range here. This is our volume range. We came up into the point of control. Point of control right now is acting as resistance, as you can see. It's pretty easy to see. We have a little bit of a rejection here and a little bit of a rejection here. So we're into resistance right now. And that was not unexpected because we had a little bit of volume here. And as the price comes back up, that gives anyone who's trapped an opportunity to exit. And also it gives people who are longing from the lows an opportunity to take profit. So you have a little bit of resistance here. That's the psychology of how the price moves. The price is always about buying and selling. It's always about buying and selling. It's always about supply and demand. Okay, there's no magic to it. It's just literally about equilibrium in the markets. It's about balance. And so when you're long, you need to take profit, and so you're looking for areas of interest to take profit. And when you're trapped because you longed higher, then you're looking for areas of interest to break even, to exit at break even. So that's why these levels are so powerful, because it just gives people an opportunity to do what they need to do according to their plan. And so if you're long from the lows here, you're looking to take profit. And so naturally, a good place to take profit is the point of control. And to take profit, if you're long, you're usually, bigger players will take profit at market because they want their position to be filled. Yeah, bigger players will just exit a market, and that pulls the price down. That's when you get longs close, where the price comes down. Also, it gives people who have longed this whole range, if someone is longing this whole range, and if their invalidation is somewhere lower, and if they're trapped because they're in a long position, which they've accumulated, they haven't been invalidated yet, but as the price comes down and then it comes back up, they might see that as an opportunity to scale back on their position without taking a loss. They might have a scale back their position or exit their position, and that will cause sell pressure. And so that's why you get these kind of areas of interest where you have previous volume levels which act as either support or resistance levels in the price action. That's just the way it works. I didn't make it up. It's just how it is. So it's just good to know. Now, yesterday when I was contemplating signs of strength, I was thinking to myself, if we got two 30-minute closes within the value area low, that would be a sign of strength. And we actually we didn't actually back test. Usually you get like one and then a back test and it goes up, and there was no back test. It just kind of went up and then went up. Okay, that was your sign of strength. And if anyone did long that, then they would have probably still made money because it went up to the point of control. It would have been a late entry, but the invalidation is a close back underneath the value area low. It was a very difficult to trade that because it went up so quickly. So ideally, the long to be had was down here when I did the stream yesterday. And I actually said that I was in a long, and I actually have taken my profit. I've taken all of my profit from the long from yesterday. I took it all. I don't usually mess about when it comes to taking profit. I just take profit. Let's move on to the next trade. So I am in a little bit of a short right now. If I'm not being invalidated yet, I had a really tight invalidation. So, and I'm still in. Basically, I'm where we are in now. So I haven't made any profit yet. I'm just in. I have a really nice, really tight invalidation. Let me have a look. $51876. Where is that? Basically, I'm looking to be invalidated above this high here, risking not even 1%. It's a very small entry, risking 0.5%, and I'm willing to take that risk because we're in a very pivotal area of the charts. It could either go up or it could even go down, but because we're into resistance, it makes sense for me to have a little short open, and that's not a problem. I don't know if it's going to go up or down. I can't tell. That being said, it is a good place to go. At the very least, you kind of want to go back down to fill this volume gap here and to go back down to test the lows. You kind of want that to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that when I'm looking at the way the price is moving, that would make sense. That would make sense for that to happen. But, you know, no one can predict the future. So that's why you have a little invalidation. So I'm in a very tiny short right now. And then if I start seeing the price kind of going down, then I will start thinking about adding to my short potentially. So kind of that's what I'm seeing. But I don't really like shorting when we've reclaimed a range. And so, because I see that as a sign of strength, I see coming back into the value area low after coming outside of the value area as a sign of strength. I don't like shorting strength. So, but the thing is, we are into resistance. So you just have to bear that in mind. And potentially, you know, potentially we are going to turn it around again here. Potentially, it's a possibility. There's a lot of volume in this point of control, and actually what I really would have liked to have seen is more volume be put here. Yeah, I wanted to see more volume put here to pull down the value area, make it lower, and to increase the volume down here. I wanted to see that. So we are kind of underneath resistance. So when you're underneath resistance, you naturally, a lot of longs are going to be hesitant from entering. But we still haven't lost this kind of these lows. So who knows how it's going to play out. When I was looking at the daily chart yesterday, it's a very nice daily close. It closed above the previous day high. That being said, it closed underneath these wicks as well. So it looks very trappy to me. It looks bullish. But it's not the kind of, it's not the V shape that you want to see. It looks a little bit trappy to me. We'll have to see how today's candle pans out. Maybe this candle will close, who knows, like no one can really predict today's candle close, but this leads on to the weekly close. And so I'm actually, like, the more and more I think about this weekly candle, I'm not crazy fond of it. I'm not crazy fond of this candle, to be honest with you. I'm not. I think it's a type of candle where the price could reverse. But I mean, it's all about supply and demand. I mean, it depends, because you kind of do want to see this level tested. You do want to see that. You do want to see a test. You want to see a test. You want to see a test hold. And yeah, we have created, so when I bring my levels up, we have a weekly level down here, potentially. Is it potentially? So it's a historic weekly level. And depending on how this candle closes today, we're going to be forming a weekly level at the daily level above us, right there. So there's going to be actually quite strong, we're going to create a stronger level higher up just by closing lower down. Yeah, potentially we'll be creating a weekly level at the same place that there's already, roughly at the same place that there's this daily level. There's an untouched daily level a little bit higher up there. And then potentially we'll be creating a weekly level where this previous daily level was. So we are actually forming a little bit of resistance above us just by closing down here on this week's time frame. That being said, we also have a fresh daily level from yesterday's close here, and that corresponds with this historic weekly level that I've marked out here. So we are in a little bit of a range, dare I say it, we're still ranging. And what we're actually kind of doing is we're creating liquidity levels above us and below us, okay? And that's the test, really. That's the test to see where the price will hold. Are there gonna be more orders in the highs to push the price down, or is the price going to go back down? There's going to be a lot of orders there to push the price up. This is the test, and the test is going to be people putting limit orders eventually, ultimately, because that's where you're going to get the absorption at the highs or at the lows, and that's going to diminish the market sellers or the market buyers. I do feel this is a little bit trappy, but I can't tell. I wouldn't mind a swing failure of these lows for a long. I think that would be a really good trade. And then a short, well, I'm in a short right now, and if it gets invalidated, then actually I'm looking for weakness. I'm not going to short strength. I'm not interested in shorting into strength. I'm looking to short into weakness, okay? So this would be, right now, this is actually the right place potentially for a short with a small invalidation, because we are into the point of control. And if we can't get a push up here, then we're naturally going to go back down. But the minute we go above the point of control, I mean, that's going to require a little bit of strength, just simply because of the volume in this point of control. You see, there's quite a lot of volume. Yeah, and you know, eventually what happens is that all of these people who might be trapped long aren't trapped anymore. Yeah, the shorts are trapped then, and when the shorts become trapped, they start closing at market and starts pulling the price up. So there's something to bear in mind. Something to bear in mind. Let me have a look at this. So we are into this kind of previous daily level right now. So we are into resistance. We're into two types of resistance here. We're into the point of control, and we're into a previous daily level, which could act as resistance. It could. We could be forming a back test on this previous level, and as long as we don't claim it into support, don't flip it into support, it will act as resistance. It looks like it's acting as resistance. Now we had the little fake out where it went up to the point of control and then came down, and so we just have to see how that plays out. Okay, I'm not seeing crazy bullishness right now, and so we have to see if longs start to close. If longs start to close, that's going to start pulling the price down. And I think I would like to see this gap filled, and then it will start looking bearish, and then we have to see. All right, so there's a few things going on with Bitcoin right now in the local time frame. But okay, I can hide that now. Wouldn't mind a red month for Bitcoin after this little extended run here. I wouldn't mind the red month. Maybe next month is the red month. Maybe. It's nice to have red on the way up, because that forms some sort of platform, some sort of base, some sort of areas of support if the price continues to go up. Just kind of like this little consolidation, like this red candle here was nice. These red candles are nice. They're nice because if the price tries to come back down, it's going to form support on that market structure. And so right now in this kind of expansive move up, it's just been green, 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 green. And on the weekly it's different. We had a little bit of red here, and so that's good. You want to see that kind of consolidation with red candles. So if the price does fall back down, it's still forming support here. That being said, I don't necessarily want to see the price close underneath that previous high. So even though this week potentially could be forming a little bit of a bearish doji, dare I say it, and if we do see a little bit of a drop, I kind of want to see how this holds, because next week, if we come in, test, and then just close back above the week close back into that range, then it's okay. Then it's just a little bit of a sell-off. We're still consolidating, and then it potentially could continue. But we have to see how that plays out on the local time frame. I think in terms of the higher time frame, so when I go back to the index, let me just delete these this stuff. If I pull off so there's a few things that I'm looking at now on Bitcoin, and let's have a look at this Bollinger Band as well. So when we had our we had a little bit of an expansive move here. You see this expansive move here. This one. This is the one that people are looking forward to. The moonshot. The moon move, right? And even though we had an all-time high here, you're still quite late in the move if you entered just when the all-time, like, it'd already done 50%, before you actually breach the all-time high to do another 50%. Effectively, you have a little bit of a, from here to here you have a 50% and you kind of have a 50% there. Yeah. And so I think people are looking at this and they don't want to, like, it looks very similar in the sense that you have this and then this, and now we're kind of at the first peak, which is there. Could this be a small shorter version of this, and that's the first peak there? Are we at this first peak here? The difference here is we didn't take the peak, we kind of corrected before it hit the peak, whereas now we've actually, it was maybe we've had a correction and maybe we're now just trying to break through, but we never really made a red candle as the price expanded. And it'd be interesting to see how this continues here. It's slightly different, but the position is correct. So when you look at when you're looking at where the price is in with respect to the Bollinger Band, you want to be in the top part, pressing against the top extent of the Bollinger Band. You want to be, that's kind of where you want to be. The price isn't going to go from here to the lower part of the Bollinger Band to an expansion. The price has to be in the top part of the Bollinger Band, pressing against the top part of the Bollinger Band for an expansion like that. So we are in the right kind of position for that. And I don't think I want to see the price to lose this midpoint of this Bollinger Band now. I don't really want to see that. I almost think when I'm looking at the price action, I almost think that this COVID drop has happened. It was this. That was it. I see similarities in how this went up and then dropped. And then the drop here obviously was compounded by the macro. I almost think that's the drop. And then we're kind of here. We're kind of here now. And then maybe we've dropped. And we're kind of coming back up here. And I almost think that this peak corresponds to that peak. There is a little bit of similarity in the way the price is moving. It's something to bear in mind when it comes to looking at the price. If I go to the monthly time frame and have a look at the monthly time frame. So the one thing I don't like about the monthly time frame is that when you're looking at the expansion from here, you did have a pullback from the top of the Bollinger Band to go back up. And I'm just wondering if that's, no, that can't be it, because it lost the midpoint. That's where you lose the midpoint. You come back up. Do we go back down to the midpoint? Which is that? I can't tell. But again, with the monthly time frame, we are in the right place for some kind of, like, that's where you want to be. You want to be in the top part of the Bollinger Band. If we want an expansion, this is where you want to be. You want to be here. You're not going to get an expansion if we're here. It's not going to happen. Yeah. The best thing that can happen when you're in the lows is you go back up to the highs. Yeah. But when you want to expand, we're in the right place. We are in the right place. I do feel like I want to see a red month, actually. And the red month would signify, And what's interesting about the previous price action is from the previous halving, which was in May here, this is the halving, you had 2 red months that followed. 2, this one and this one. And we haven't had the halving yet. The halving's in 2 months' time. But I'm just wondering if we do have like 1 or 2 red months before we go to the moon. So I am like thinking to myself, there is a little bit of difference right now between the way the price is coming up here. I do think we need a little bit of pullback, and I wouldn't mind if we can, if this midpoint of this monthly kind of, if we can get close, I think that would be a bit better. So I am seeing similarities, but I would like to see a little bit of a pullback, unfortunately, dare I say it. Now, something that I was thinking about, if you take the distance from this midpoint where the price held to the highs, I'm just wondering if we do the same thing. I'm wondering if we basically do exactly the same. And that would put us at a crazy number. That's a crazy number. And I'm just thinking, when I look at the previous price action, good morning, B. How's it going? I don't know if we did the same thing from previous times. So I am looking at it from, so look, so this is where the price held, and this is the high, thereabouts. So if we go in a straight line, so it didn't do it. It didn't do the same distance. See that? It's 50%, 50 or 60% less. No, 40% less, potentially. Let me have a look here. Potentially there, in a straight line to the highs. See that? So there was a drop off. And here there's a drop off too, if you see that. So there wasn't a complete, there wasn't an absolute, there was no replication of the way the price moved. And even this one, there was a little bit of a drop off there. See that? So based on that idea, if I was to take this here, from there to there, from there to there. Okay, no. So let me do it like this. So from here to there, roughly there. So we kind of, I don't know, we kind of come into about 100,000. If you're kind of following the same kind of pattern, where you have it about, you're basically 60% of the previous expansion. I'm just guessing, I'm just roughly guessing. This is 60% of the previous expansion. This is about 60% of the previous expansion. This was about 60% of the previous expansion. And maybe this is going to be about 60% of the previous expansion. And if this expansion that I'm thinking of is from where the midpoint of the monthly Bollinger Band holds a support to the high, and take that to there where this holds a support, kind of roughly we're looking at 100,000, and that's it. And that would follow this pattern. And so the question is, does this pattern break? But this is kind of what I'm imagining, which would follow the pattern. Let me have a look at some other things. I can't remember what I've done. Some flips. Trend base of extension. B is asking, can you have a look at Kwang's? Oh, it was a breakout? Shit. I should have bought some, huh? I was bullish recently. This is gone now. SR flips. I kind of want there to be more of an expansion, actually. I'm trying to figure out if we can have more of an expansion. I think the easiest way to just calculate, I think the simplest way, and this is probably, you know, the simplest way is often the best way. You just do a really easy fib extension, and your first expansive target is the 1.272 at $103,616, and this is on the index, so these figures are thereabouts. So I think probably I'm thinking to myself 100,000. That's my moon target for Bitcoin, and that would coincide with this kind of this idea. Now the question is, do we see a super cycle? And I've seen these super cycle graphs online, and now let me just pull it up. Super cycle Bitcoin map. Let me just have a look, because I've seen these graphs and I'm really curious about them. Let me see if I can find a good one. I got it. Let me copy it and paste it. So the idea of a super cycle is that you have you can see the circles, the half circles. You have your cycles, you have your mini cycles, you have these are mini cycles, then you have your larger cycles, and then you have your bigger cycles, and that's called the super cycle. Super cycle doesn't mean it's going to go up and never come back down. Again, it's a cycle, so it goes up and it goes down. Yeah, so I've seen this kind of chart flow around, and I'm just not, I have no idea and so it doesn't necessarily also mean that the price is going to come right back down to zero. It's just identifying the peaks and the troughs, the highs and the lows. So according to this, we had the low corresponding to here, we had the low corresponding to here, we had the low corresponding to here, and low corresponding to here. So there's a very kind of cyclical behavior with the lows, and then you have cyclical behavior with the highs. If you see how this semicircle, I mean, this was a bit later, but there, you have the high that corresponds to there. Potentially you're looking at the high, putting in the high in October. Now I don't know if this means that we're going to, like, what you might be like. I think people need to understand, like, even though this idiot's put stupid numbers on this chart, and obviously this chart's in log, okay, so it's effectively it's the same chart that I've got here. If you look at this chart, if I get rid of my brush strokes and I'll get rid of the Bollinger Band, all right, you can see it's basically the same chart that I've got here. And I don't think super cycle means we're going to the moon in the sense that we're going to crazy numbers. I think super cycle just simply means that this is the peak of the super cycle. So I think the word super is wrong. It's misleading. I think super is just like, these are mini cycles, these are medium cycle, maybe higher time frame cycle would be better. And so effectively what you're saying is this is the peak of this higher time frame cycle. That's the peak. That's what this is saying. We're at the peak. This is gonna, this next cycle, this October, whenever this peak happens, will be the peak of this whole move. And then you'll be looking for this. Now, does that mean it can't go up? It does mean it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell. I don't really understand it, because I mean, if you look at these, you peaked, but the price still went up. See, you peaked here. You peaked here. The price still went up. It didn't go down just because, but it's all with respect to itself. And I think that's what people need to understand. Yeah, this is relative. So if we're peaking here at 100,000, for the sake of argument, let's say we're peaking here, it would be like us peaking here on this mini cycle. And so the idea of this super cycle, if this is correct, would be that over here you should somehow be lower. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really understand this, actually. It doesn't really make sense, because I can't imagine that Bitcoin in 2040 is going to be lower than $100,000. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I think I need to do more research on this concept, on this idea of super cycle. Let me just quickly do a Google search. What is a super cycle? Quickly, the Motley Fool. Let's have a look. The global economy tends to be very cyclical. These pop-ups. Meaning it is prone to alternating periods of boom and bust. The four stages of an economic cycle are expansion, peak, contraction, and trough. Example of an economic supercycle. The last major economic supercycle began around 2002, when China entered an extended period of economic growth. This economic supercycle ended around 2015. Okay, so I think a super cycle actually means that if a super cycle begins, then actually the price is going to go up until the end, which is potentially there. Doesn't mean it's going to follow the same path and going up and down. Potentially it will still go cyclical, but it will start to go up more rapidly. I think that's what this is saying. Commodity super cycles are driven by super cycles in the broader economy, characterized by sustained rising demand. So what we need is sustained rising demand. I mean, it is possible, huh? Because there is sustained rising demand on crypto. Potentially, we're going to see a crypto super cycle, potentially. Just don't know what it's going to look like. I don't think it's going to be like this. That doesn't make any sense. Potentially, you're still going to go up. And maybe we break. And I'm thinking maybe we break. And I think the real test of whether we break or not, for me, will be this. Okay, so just looking at the way the patterns have formed in the past, I think whether we break or not will depend on this expansion here. Okay, so this is the test. You have this back test of this Bollinger here. You have this expansion to the highs there. So naturally, I'm expecting about a 60% increase, which would follow the previous markets. So you're looking at the same thing from there to the high there. If you copy that across, it's about 60%. It goes 60% higher than the previous expansion. So based on that really crude logic, that's our target, which is 100K. Very crude logic. Very rough. So I think we're going to know if we are in a super cycle, if this breaks. It'd be very easy to see if this breaks, because I think if we start going above 100,000 and we start flipping higher levels, then I would suggest that it's starting to break. And maybe then you could argue that we are in a super cycle. And I think that's what people want to see. What would determine a super cycle? And I think that will be exciting actually for most people to know when a super cycle happens, right? And so from this, the other thing I'm looking at now is from this peak to this low here, we actually hit the 1.618 expansion. From this peak here to this low here, we hit the 1 to 2 expansion. You see that? Very expansive move into 2017. From this peak here to this low here, I mean, we went way above the 1 to 2. But that's probably, if I calculate that and add some more numbers for that, $1.272. See that? 2.272. Very expansive. So our expansions are in decline. That's what I'm seeing right now. We're getting less expansive moves. And I think the first test is going to be whether we are less expansive or just as expansive. If we're just as expansive, then you could argue that maybe we are going to see some kind of super cycle. And so I think that's going to be the test. The real test for me will be how the price behaves in my first resistance level here. 103,000. I want to see how the price behaves. If we have a clear rejection there, and that's the peak, and then you just can't get past it, then there is no super cycle. That's it. And we just have a less expansive move, which is just exactly what we're expecting. That's the expectation. The expectation is that less expansive. But if a super cycle idea is in play, then what do you want to do? Well, you want to flip resistance into support. That will be the first test. So I have a very clear fib extension line. And if I take the previous market now, okay, this is the monthly time frame. So a monthly close above that 1.272. And you see how the price expanded all the way to the 1.414, and you see how it sold, but it still closed above the 1.272. Do you see that? Sorry, just had to respond to a message. That was, and you had the same thing here. You see in the same month here, it expanded all the way up to the 1.618, and it came back to close above the 1.414. Okay, the behavior here it closed above the 1.272, back tested, expanded, closed above the didn't close above the 1.414, but then it expanded and closed above the 1.618. That was, this red candle was very deceptive, and then it just expanded all the way up to the 2.272. That was very expansive. The clear sign of rejection is, look, do you see how in the highs here on the fib extension from this 2017 peak to the bear market low in 2018, you have a clear failure on the monthly time frame to close above the 1.618. Very clear failure on two occasions, on two separate occasions. We had a clear rejection into that 1.618 level. Yeah, there was a lot of bearish signs in the highs here. You had a rejection of the 1.618. You had a swing failure of this previous high, and you had a quite a bearish monthly candle in the second run up to the highs. This red kind of wide-bodied doji is very bearish in the highs. It indicates some kind of reversal. That was it closed at about $57,000. It's very bearish. So you had a lot of indications of reversal, and I think that's what we want to see now. We want to see how the price behaves into these levels, okay? And we want to see that on the monthly time frame. It's really important, the monthly time frame. I think people get too focused on even today I'm looking at the local time frame on Bitcoin, and I'm planning a trade, and I'm just looking at I'm not like, this is just like simple day trading. This is nothing, I'm not really, this doesn't change my bias. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. It doesn't really matter. What really matters for people to realize is the higher time frame. The higher time frame is what matters. Nothing else matters. So what happens on the monthly time frame determines everything. What happens on the higher time frames determines it, right? And you can see clearly in the previous bull market, we had a clear rejection of the 1.618 extension. On two separate occasions, the price failed to close above that very definite level. And if I was to look at the previous bull market, from there to there, if I do an extension, look, the price has failed the 2.272. See that? And then on this monthly candle, you have a full monthly reversal close back below the previous monthly high. That's a reversal pattern right there. Okay, so there are signs on the monthly time frame of reversal, and we will be able to see it. We'll be able to see it together because we're looking at the monthly time frame. We're not going to get boggled down on the 8-hour time frame or on the 4-hour time frame or on the 15-minute time frame or even on the daily time frame. What we'll be looking at is the monthly time frame. We'll be looking at the higher time frame levels. We'll be looking at the candle patterns and the candle formations and the volume on those candles to try to see if when the time comes we're going to be in a super cycle or not. And I think for me, if we are to repeat last bull market's expansion, then there would be a significant shift in the behavior. Yeah, so the last bull market, when I did an expansion from the 2017 peak to the bear market low, the expansion was to the 1.618 at 60, just above $62,000. It expanded and couldn't close above the 1.618. I'm not expecting that this time round because of diminishing returns in the expansive nature of Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm not expecting that. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if we see the same behavior, that's different. And that's a significant shift in what you're expecting. Yeah, if we suddenly see the price push up and then now we're at 107, okay, now we can start talking about super cycle because this is different. And actually, I think if we start getting above the 1.414 at $128,000, that would already be a big difference in my mind. I think the minute you flip that level into support, you're going to the 1.618. And if you go to the 1.618, then maybe you're going higher. Maybe then we are talking about some kind of mad super cycle. And that's the only time that I start thinking about a super cycle is if we start flipping this 1.272 into support. I don't really expect the price if the price action is to continue and to behave in accordance with the history of Bitcoin, this time round, I'm not expecting the price to push past the 1.272. Really, I don't think that makes sense. Just simply because of what I said before. When you lay up the Bollinger Band and you look at where the price held at the midpoint, and then you see how far it expanded to the highs. Yeah, I don't expect it to do the same thing because it hasn't done the same thing in the past. In the past, you've had about a 40% reduction in the expansion, and in my mind, that pretty much lands us here. Pretty much a 40% reduction is probably around there. That would be correct to the previous price action. If you do the same thing, roughly, and then you just take that, you see it's about a 40% reduction on that whole expansion. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing. There's a very similarity, and that's basically diminishing returns. So we have to just see how Bitcoin behaves, and then we also have to see if this super cycle idea is in play or not. We'll know simply because, where's that image? Doesn't matter, I've lost it, probably deleted it because it's rubbish. But simply because if we are going to see a super cycle, if it's a big if, yeah, and I think people need to be aware that in the peak of the bull market, everyone is going to be calling for a super cycle. That chart that I shared is going to you're going to start seeing that everywhere. So let me just pull it up as well, just to make you guys aware of this chart, this super cycle chart. And I'm going to do more research on this and analyze this more in the future, because we need to know, you know, we need to know whether we're going to be in one or not, because that's going to determine how we take profits, and that's going to determine when we take profits as well. And so basically this is the chart that everyone's going to start seeing a lot in the future, this super cycle chart. And effectively what this suggests is that this time is different. This time we're going to start seeing some crazy expansion. That's the suggestion. There's going to be a shift. Maybe this is that what people will be calling for is a break of the pattern, of this pattern, and instead of some kind of diminishing returns, you're going to get some kind of blow off top. That will be what a super cycle would indicate. And I think anything like, if you're going up to like the 1.618, that's going to look pretty blow off toppy. If we get up there and then just push up, maybe like a blow off top. You have to see. All right, there's some things to bear in mind. All right, so that is I think that's Bitcoin. I'm in a short right now on Bitcoin. I'm just looking at the order flow. There's a lot of short centering now. I'm just looking at XO. I'm not going to show it. Actually, well, I will show it because I want you guys to. It's good to have a look. Let me just pull this across. Now, the thing about shorts is they can always get squeezed, so you have to always bear that in mind. See how the OI is increasing, the price is coming down, the CVD is coming down. You've got short centering right now. See that? 761K. Two shorts coming in right now. And effectively, what's going to bring the price down are longs closing. So the minute the longs start closing, the price is going to really fall. So that's something to bear in mind. Keep that open. I'll go back to my other screen. On screen. That's the right screen. All right, what else is there? Right, that's Bitcoin. I don't really have anything to say about more to say about Bitcoin. Let me just quickly have a look at TRVL. So let me just quickly have a look at the local price action, just because I was commenting on it yesterday. And what I'm seeing now with the local price action, surprise, surprise, that level that I pasted yesterday, that weekly level, look at it. It's acting as support. So, you know, on Gate it's slightly lower. On MEX it's into support. Look at this. So I drew this on KuCoin. Look, I drew this, and look at that. How amazing is that? I'd sometimes surprise myself. So I did think that level would come into play. This is sometimes these historic levels are relevant, and I did see a little bit of a low volume drop in yesterday's decline in price. So actually on Bybit we're underneath the level, so it's something to bear in mind. So Bybit at the moment is a little bit more bearish than the other charts. I still prefer KuCoin because KuCoin usually has the most volume. On MEX, it's right on that line that I have. So there's a little bit of divergence in the exchanges. When I look at the volume though, let me just quickly analyze the volume. Actually, KuCoin, it's been quite low recently. So we have a little bit of reduction in volume on KuCoin. Bybit is pretty low volume at the moment. We had a big sell here, 109,000 there, and the price didn't flinch. So that's actually very bullish. When you see that, that's really bullish, because that's a lot. 109,000 for Bybit, that's a lot. And it's really bullish. It's bullish because that 100,000 was absorbed. Someone absorbed that price. So someone bought that. It isn't like you see it as a sell. Well, damn, 109,000 TRVL was sold, but it was bought and the price didn't move. Look, the price didn't move. That's bullish. That's not bearish. That's bullish. Yeah. There's quite a large amount of TRVL, and it just means that the price was absorbed. There's buyers at these prices, and they're willing to buy a heck of a lot of TRVL. Yeah, so whoever sold that, maybe they were taking profit. Who knows? I have no idea. Or maybe they thought that now the price was going to go down. That was their first opportunity to sell. Or maybe they sold and now they're just going to start to scale back in. That's a very effective strategy. You can, if you're unsure. Oh, I'm on the wrong. I went to the wrong screen. Sorry. What an idiot. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it. What an idiot. Not you, me. There you go. That's better. So let me just go back. So this is MEX. So I had this line marked out in yesterday's stream, and look, the price has come into the weekly level, and this is a historic weekly level that I identified from previous price action. And basically I was looking at these lows of this week, and I thought to myself, well, it's acted as resistance in the past here, support in the past here, resistance here. So I was expecting some kind of reaction. And if you look at how the price has come into the level and stopped, that was pretty good. Dare I say prediction, but it looks like I knew what was going to happen. I had no idea what was going to happen. On gate, it's come in slightly above that level. So every chart has their own little kind of nuances, which I've already explained. KuCoin is the best one because we were here yesterday and I said it looks like there's a little bit of a correction, and look what happened. It's basically doing what I almost predicted. I'm not even trading it. I'm just analyzing it and commenting on how the price is moving. And it's amazing. Huh? That was pretty amazing. It looks like I knew what was going to happen. I had no idea what was going to happen. I just thought to myself that it didn't make any sense for the price to just go down through these levels, these previous levels. Like, these levels aren't insignificant levels. And obviously you're back into this range, this volume range. And so you're coming back into volume levels. And so they're going to obviously act as, offer a little bit of support. And then going back to the Bybit chart. So whereas in the other exchanges you have a little bit of low volume, we have this red sell candle here. That corresponds to this candle here. And the volume that I see is 109,000 TRVL. And basically what I'm suggesting is that that amount of volume was bought. So even though it's a sell, it's actually a buy. It's a buy because someone has absorbed all of that price, and that is bullish. That's not bearish, that's bullish. It's bullish because the price hasn't dropped and all of that TRVL has been absorbed by one buyer, by one order. And so if I was to go and have a look at And the indicators, that's quite bullish. I think that's quite bullish. Someone sold and it was just bought. Now there is a strategy where you can sell and then scale back in if you're unsure. Yeah, so someone might have been like, I'm not sure, maybe the price is going to go down. I'm just going to sell a large amount and then I'm just going to scale back in. That's not a bad strategy, because if this person was right and the price did continue, then they'd have cheddar, they'd have dry powder, and they could just scale back in as the price dropped, and they're just improving their position. But the reality is that someone bought that, and so in my mind that's actually quite bullish. So that's the local price action. If I was to just, now what you can do, I don't mind these like fast drops, because in the future when the price goes up, there's no resistance, none whatsoever. Yeah, and that's kind of what you want. You want no resistance to go back up, because then you'll get really impulsive price action to go up. And the reason why, because it's just a low volume fast drop, very bearish, bullish, not bearish, bullish. Bullish in the sense that when the price does eventually go back up, it will just slice through that price level, these levels. So then what we can do is we can just expand this, just have a see what the volume is. So on Bybit, even where we're underneath this kind of weekly level that I've got marked, we're above the point of control. Price is being absorbed. That's good. And actually what I want to see on all of the exchanges today, if possible, is for the price to just close above this weekly level that I've marked. I think that would be quite good price action. Yeah, the price wasn't ready to go up, which is why we're back into this range. And even though arguably you could say that this is bearish because we go up range and come back down, what I can see from this range up here is that there wasn't really much volume put into this range. So in the future, if we do close here and go back up, don't really think there's going to be much resistance in this range. I can't see much. I can see that there's really low volume. So that's something to bear in mind. And just looking at these other exchanges, well, on Gate, the point of control is slightly higher up. Okay, so it's dropped. Do you see how it dropped? So before the range was higher, and now that I've expanded this, the range is now lower. So actually that's quite bullish, except that we are at the point of control. The point of control is in the higher of the range, but we are at the point of control. We're just putting volume here now. So I don't think that's necessarily bearish, as long as we in the future are able to make that our support level and start working our way back up. That's kind of what you want to see. Now, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen, but as I've said in the past, if we close roughly here on the weekly time frame, we'll be creating a weekly level. So we haven't printed our weekly level yet, but that's where our weekly level will be, where I've marked it. So that's our future weekly level, and I think that would be quite bullish, because we're now creating a liquidity level underneath us, and we've cleared the liquidity from the top. And so hopefully what you'll be hoping for next week is people to put their limit orders at this weekly level, so that if there's a little bit of a pullback, the orders will just get absorbed, and then the price will start working its way up. That's kind of what you want to see. And so if people have been paying attention to the levels that I've been drawing, if the weekly level, if the weekly candle closes like this, we're creating a weekly level. And so next week would be quite an important week, because we need to see how the weekly candle closes next week. And ideally, you want to start moving up further. You want to start pushing up, ideally, and get out of this range and move into a higher prices. And that will be really bullish, because what you've done is you've created market structure, and now the price is trading higher. And so this weekly market structure will in the future will act as a support. So if the price does go up next week, then if the price does come back down, you've created this kind of market structure of support for the future. If the price goes down, then we just have to see what happens. Like, no one can predict that, but there are levels underneath us, and we just have to see where the price finds support. No one can predict that. If the price goes down, I'll be buying more. I don't mind. I'm just gonna buy. I've just been buying, like, whenever you get dips, I just go and buy. I don't care. And I think a lot of people are in the same mentality. So there's a lot of things coming with this token, and at these levels, after seeing all of this, like 4 months, 3 months of market price action, I think people are really bullish. So the other thing I wanted to look at was the monthly chart. All right, so the monthly is closing quite soon. What chart are we on next? That's fine. Let me hide these. That's your 9-cent mark. We can get rid of that. Get rid of this channel. Let's just look at the candles. Right. I like to look at candles. It does make sense that the monthly potentially closes here. If you look at how the candles have structured, and let me just get rid of the volume as well. Let's just look at the candles. Just focus on the candles. This is the monthly time frame. It does make sense that we're kind of finding resistance here, because if you look how the price came down here, look, you see 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before we actually had a break. So as the price comes back up, we tried to come back up here once, failed, and now we're trying again. This is like the second attempt, potentially the third attempt, because we've already cleared it once, but that kind of just went through and it just ignored it. For some reason it ignored that level, but now we're back into that level now. So I think on the monthly time frame, I don't know if I'm expecting this. It wouldn't necessarily work in terms of the way these candles are forming. Potentially, like, I think this is a good close. Potentially it's a good close, but we have to see what happens, because we've got 3 green months in a row now, and on the monthly time frame, our monthly order block is this red candle here. That's our monthly order block. So basically from there to there. So I don't know if we're going to get a pullback next month to just come back into that red candle to go up. I don't know. Or we just continue going up. I don't know if that's going to happen. But I don't know if this is bad the way it's looking right now. It would make sense for there to be a little bit of resistance here, but in the same way that there was resistance, we also need to just go through it. So you also need a little candle like that. And so if you look at how the price tried to get through that level with these drop candles, you had this wick that came into it, you had this expansion that pushed into it, you had a pullback. And so if we were to have a pullback month, for the sake of argument, it's just for the sake of argument, you're basically replicating this like a red month, and then you have green, green, and then you're off to the races potentially, and you kind of do this in reverse. So I'm just contemplating that. I don't know if that's going to behave that way or not, but there is definitely a higher time frame resistance here, and that's kind of why the price is struggling a little bit. You see, for the last 3 months we've struggled at this price range. Eventually, once we get above it, this whole kind of dividing line is going to be our support line eventually. And that's kind of what I was contemplating when I imagined my Wyckoff schematic. I was thinking to myself, although here on the Wyckoff schematic I've got it slightly higher up because I've got it at the 236, but it's an area, right? It's not specifically one line. I think that could be the lowest point of support eventually when we get through this level into higher prices, and then that's going to be really bullish. And actually what you kind of want is, once you get above that level, you just want one red month. That's kind of what you want. And I don't want the price to go down, but I wouldn't mind if the price went back down into support and held support with a red higher time frame candle. So when I'm contemplating the best price action for TRVL, I wouldn't mind for us to get above that level somewhere, maybe up to there, with a green candle, and then you have one red candle, which all it does is it comes back to test, to fall back on this support line here. That would be really bullish. That would be like super bullish. And you're basically contemplating the idea of green March and a red April. I think it'd be weird though, because April is the halving month and potentially a lot of altcoins are going to start pumping, but I don't think we should be phased by having a red month on the way up. Like, I think people need to understand that red candles are good when you create them on the way up. They're very healthy. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it would be nice to get some kind of red back test on this support line when we eventually break it. And then that will be a really good position to buy. Because effectively what you're doing then is you're buying a future order block, a future monthly order block. So that's what I wanted to say about TRVL really. I think I don't think, unless there's any questions, has anyone got any thoughts about it? And as you can see, we've got this this line. It's more easy to see on the get rid of that can now. We're kind of into it now. It's a tricky situation, huh? Because we're into it, and you just want it to break and back test and then go up. That's what you want. And actually, when you see how the price broke here, it didn't back test for a while. So, you know, you almost want to break. But then that would be really weird. I don't know. No idea. But we're there. We're almost there. We're almost there, but we're still not there. Could we go down? It's a question. It's always possible to go down. Like, it's never not possible to go down. But when I see you know, when I see the price getting absorbed, like on Bybit, I don't get that vibe. I don't get that down vibe. I'm not seeing it on the other exchanges, but on the Bybit it's very clear to see. See that? This candle. When I see that candle and you see the price is just still in the same place, that's like meh. It's like the seller got owned. So I don't really get down vibes when I see the price get absorbed in a very significant way like that. Right. I think that is anything. Is there anything else in TRVL? I think everyone's going to be really relieved when we get back above 9 cents and we hold that 9 cents as support. I mean, once we get into that situation, the vibe in Dtravel, the vibe in TRVL community is just going to be pumping, like literally. And so I don't know if people are worried that the price is going to go down or not. I don't get that vibe, but I think there's going to be a lot of like jubilation once we get past this level, and then we just have to see what happens. And for me, the real achievement for the bulls will be to take this high out. That'll be the biggest achievement in this time frame, because that will be a higher high on the weekly time frame. That's what I want to see. And when we make a higher high on the weekly time frame, I'll be looking for a higher low. Then my focus will be, where's the higher low going to be? Because that will be the next task at hand. And what's what we want to achieve? We want to get there. We're going to make a higher high, make a higher low somewhere, and then we want to take out that high as bulls. And what we're doing now when we create that market structure is, for anyone who knows about technical analysis, they'll look at that and they'll go, wow, this is really bullish. The whole market will be looking at this price action and going, wow, this is really bullish price action. I want to get involved. I want to start buying the dips, because you're making higher highs, you're making higher lows. Everyone wants to participate in that, especially in the context of the bull market. And like the other thing people want to see is they want to see an increased volume. So right now on Bybit, you can clearly see there's an increase in volume. And what would be nice in the future is that volume continues to increase. And so in the future, what I'm imagining is the volume up there on Bybit. So it's kind of powering up. Let me see on the other exchanges. So on KuCoin, it's, apart from this one big spike, it's pretty much steady. On Gate, apart, because the problem with Gate is the results are skewed because there was a large amount of volume back in 22, but there is an increase. You see that there's a little bit of an increase, and then on Mex, Mex has been quite steady. What you want to see is now increases in volume. We want to see that. And let's just see if that happens or not. All right, that's TRVL. So there's two things I wanted to do. I wanted to chart. What did I post in my Twitter? ANDR. So someone's asked for ANDR, and it's going to take some while to chart. So I won't start that yet. I'll probably do that at the end so you guys don't get bored. B is asking for Kanks. So I'll just quickly have a look at that, because it's going to the moon apparently. %. Wow. It's amazing. Oh wow, that pattern was completely invalidated. There you go. It's a bit of a pumpy into the value area high. It's nice to see. I mean, I did say, you know, you reclaimed the value area low. It's bullish. What can I say? It's just, it is what it is. You know, you reclaim a value area low, flip it into support, price action becomes bullish again. What I can see here is that the point of control was flipped into support too. And I did say the point of control moved to the lows. That was bullish. So there's a lot of bullish things happening. All of that is invalidated now, at least for the time. I'll keep it just for the sake of... So we've come above the 382. Perfect. So you have a you have a real kind of SR flip going on here, and you've gone straight into resistance. See that? 236 resistance at 3.1 cents. That's a big mover for Kanks. Well done. Should have bought some. This is good. So I had this channel, and look, we're just back above it. That's what you want to see. Look, for a short period of time, it was kind of resisting and then fell under, and then it just came back above, and that's bullish. When you reclaim these like higher time frame channels, that's really nice to see. That's what you want to see. Bullish price action. So there's a lot of good things happening here. You've cleared some daily levels with ease, without any problems. You've gone through the golden, that's the reverse. You've gone for the reverse. See that one? It's fine. All right. Let me just hide everything now. What am I seeing? Let's have another look. Let me just do a range pull now. I'll just do it on the 4 hourly, but I'll ignore this this big candle here. All right, so we're into resistance. Just be aware of that. Value area has moved down slightly. Value area low has moved down slightly. The point of control is basically where it was at. Okay, get rid of that. Let's have a look at this fib retracement. We're into 50% of this range. We're into there's a lot of just want to do something. Hold on. Just want to try something out. This is going to look weird, but I just want to try it out. I want to just cut this. Just want to see what this looks like here. Look at that. It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, that's basically what you're forming effectively, except that the price is elevated just simply because of this adjustment in price. But that's basically what you're forming, is a continuation of this behavior, but it's just continuing. And effectively, you're in this kind of range. And you can do it this way, or you can do it the other way. So the other way would be like this. Take this bar pattern to here. No. Is that like that? That's weird. That's better. To the... It looks better the other way, huh? I prefer it the other way. Just undo it. That was good, huh? That was really good. All right, so we have a channel. I've just created a channel out of nothing. Let's bring it up. Don't know. We're coming into the midpoint according to this. There. But what's interesting about this price action, you see, like, just ignore that middle bit. This was the SFP of this low here. And that's a higher low. This is a higher low. So this is actually looking really bullish, because you're kind of forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern, potentially, and this top bar is the neckline. It's hard to see because we've got this price adjustment, but when I bring this price action down and just join it and just ignore all of this trash, you're potentially forming some kind of inverse head and shoulders. Hard to see, but it's there. And really the test is going to be a break of that high there, and you just kind of you're looking to just break and go up, or break, consolidate to go up. That's kind of, that will be very, that this potentially could be the impulse right now. What we're about to experience now could be the impulse, potentially. Or they could just go back down. Who knows? And this could just, this whole pattern could just, we could just continue to range, basically. So there's two possibilities here: a continuing of the range, or potentially a breakout. A breakout will be easy to see because you're just basically flipping this high into support somehow for a continuation, and then it'll get quite pumpy. You're into a little bit of volume up here. Nah, not much. There's not much volume there. I can't see it. I don't think that price action will make much difference to the move, if there's going to be a move. But I am seeing some kind of, all of this is just a continuation of this, just at a higher level. So this is looking quite nice. I think getting above this midpoint on this chart here, the lower one, it looks like we're potentially above it there. When I clone those channels, it doesn't look like we're above it. But if I bring this lower to the all-time high, not the all-time high, this pivot high, that makes more sense there. from there to there. So there is a bit of a channel going on here. So let me just draw it correctly. Actually, I need it for reference. Hold on. Let me just do that, and I'll just do it. I'll do it. I'll redo this. It's fine. This is what I'm. There you go. That looks good. There's your channel. That looks all right. Got a bit of reaction there. Bit of reaction there. Midpoint, easily a reaction there. This low was just like meh, but then look, back test there, all the way up to there. Lost it, but there was clear reactions here, and then that was a clear reaction there. This midpoint was a little bit meh, but there was a little bit of reaction there. There was a little bit of reaction. This was a bit meh. So we're back into the midpoint. That's what I'm seeing right now. And I've just literally just based that off combining this fractal here, just joining it with this to see that there is a continuation in the pattern, which gave me the idea that there's probably a channel going on here. It'd be good to flip that midpoint into support for continuation. And then obviously we want to break the top of this channel to go up. Yeah. I think once you get into these higher parts, there isn't much volume. It should probably expand quite well. It's been consolidating now in this range since May 22. So I should pick some up. I should buy some. What the hell? Why have I been delaying? It's at 2.8 cents, so it's not too crazy. I can pick it up at 2.8 cents. I mean, it's obviously more expensive than 1.9 cents, but we have so just looking at the current price action, let me have a look at the daily time frame. So I think this pivot high should, I don't really want to see us lose this pivot high here. I think that should act as a support now. So potentially if the price does go back down, I want to see that to act as support. That will give me confidence to buy there, or I'll be looking to buy a reclaim of that channel slightly higher up. I wouldn't just buy into resistance. That doesn't make any sense. Of course, if you're investing, it doesn't matter. You just buy, just buy. But if you're trading, which is what I do, or I'm trying to do, or I mean, I might hold a little bit. Who knows? Let's see. Where was the volume levels? Yeah, so we're into resistance right now. It'd be good if we can. Really, what I want to see next is to flip that volume area, that value area high, and this midpoint, this mid channel into support. I think that would be the neck for me. That would be a good entry. Like once I see that this is support and it's starting to act as support, then I'll be looking to buy. Otherwise, I'll be looking to buy a little bit lower down and just wait for the correction, because I want to get all these people who've bought this pump, I want them to sell. Basically, I want them to sell. I want to buy after these people who've taken their profit. You don't want to buy before people take profit. You want to buy after people take profit. So if it goes up here and it consolidates, then these people here are taking profit and the price is still up above this flipped line. That would be a good place to buy. Or you want to just wait for them to take, these people to take profit. And then if it comes and kind of forms support here, that would be a good place to buy more. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, just looking at the price action. But yeah, this channel is quite nice, and this fractal kind of worked out well. Potentially we are making a higher time frame head and shoulders pattern, potentially. That would be really nice, because then you have a good breakout, and then you can just basically, it'll be easy to see how far it can expand, because I'll just draw the breakout to the neckline. So let's just imagine it's to the, from the breakout, you could probably go up to there. That will probably take us up to that top range there. Yeah, just the value area high of that mini range. That would be a good, that would be a good kind of target to take profit. That will kind of will be the expansion of this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. So from the breakout, that's about 1.8x, maybe a 2x. From the current price, it's about 4x. Right. And obviously the other thing we want to see is we want to see this launch price flip into support. That will also potentially coincide with the top of this channel as well. So that'll be quite, there's some good places to enter on this token once you see that levels have been flipped into support, right? So just bear in mind we're into resistance right now, right? And I wouldn't mind a little bit of a back test of these previous levels before I buy more. And that's kind of what you want. You want to see higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. You don't just want to see the price go up in a straight line, because then people will take profit and then it could look quite ugly. So that's the Kanks update. I hope that helps. I'll make a little video of that later. This is quite nice, huh? What else is there? Craig is asking for something. No, J-Way's asking for ARV. I don't know what that is. J-Way, you're still here. I don't know if you're still here. Maybe I've bored you to death. Who knows? Some buy bit as well, though. Oh god, I don't like these wicks. What are they? October, launched October 21. December 21. So Gate has more info. Let me just quickly have a look on change my screen. Let me have a look. Ariba? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. It's got the correct price. Arriva. Arriva. Let's have a look. Ooh. It was actually launched 2nd of September. So we don't have all the data here. We've got this move up. So this move up was the Gate launch. See that whole expansion up? and then effectively it was just sold into. Why was it sold into? Well, I can tell you why, because it was launched at the end of the last bull market. So it's just been sold into ever since. Okay, so that's effectively what's happened. There is a few problems here. I can just tell you straight away. You've got, no, my bad. No, that's fine. Let me see the markets. Oh, it's on a lot of markets. That's good. You want to see that? No, that's fine. Market cap. Market cap is lower, 3 million. Really low. All-time low was recently, 5 months ago in September. And the all-time high. I'm gonna have to do like full analysis on this, to be honest with you. It's gonna take me some time because it's just like a fresh chart. And I do want to do analysis on the other chart as well that I had. So I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to come back and do this because I haven't had a break yet. And I wouldn't mind a tea. And I've got two charts to analyze. I'm going to analyze this Arriva. And I'm also going to analyze when I get back, because I've got a little bit of time. I'm not really doing anything. I'm going to analyze. Oh, hold on. Let me just go back to my other screen. Oh, I've gone. I'm going to analyze Arriva, and then I'm going to also analyze ANDR. All right. So when I get back, I'll do this, and then I'll do that. If you want to hang around, and if you don't, I'll just do it, and then I'll post it as some videos later. And then if you fancy, you can watch it. I don't want to bore everyone with this. Be back in. What time is it? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to go have lunch. So it's a shame because I've got people viewing, but I'm going to be back in 30 minutes. I'm going to have lunch. And then I will chart ARV. And what was the other one? ANDR. All right. Lunchtime. But I'll leave the stream running because then it's just one long stream and I can just cut out the section later on and it'll be a lot easier. So if you guys want to come back in half an hour, I'll be here. And if not, then just catch up later when I post the videos. All right. So see you in a bit. Hi, I'm back. Oh my god, there's still people here. Everyone's waiting. Sorry about that. That was a good lunch though. I've got a tea as well. Oh, let me just get rid of this. Hopefully everyone else has had a little break. We can just do this. Okay, first things first is, let me get these all-time high and all-time low numbers in. It's the all-time low. Perfect. Look at that. That's correct. All-time high. Okay, that's all right. It's pretty much fine. Okay, so first things first. So we have made a all-time low after the launch. There hasn't been a run on this. It's just been a pretty steady sell-off. A lot of volume here. So there's going to be a bunch of liquidity, trapped liquidity there. The point of control is at the lows, which is good, and we're just above. We're just above the point of control. Looks like we've flipped the point of control into support. See that? Bam. And that's just today. Oh my god. That's good. So let me see the price action on a local time frame here. Interesting. So basically this morning. Okay, let me put these volume levels in. Point of control. So this value area high is also a high volume node. So that's going to be your big resistance right there. And there's a lot of liquidity there in this drop. Something to bear in mind. If I do a range pull, not a range pull, a fib pull from the all-time high down to the all-time low, you kind of so what you can see here is the golden pocket is just underneath this value area high, which is just underneath this high volume node. So we have quite large resistance at that level. That's very large resistance. You have a lot of confluence for resistance higher up. We have this 236, which is acting as some sort of SR flip as well. See that? Support, resistance, resistance. So there's definite SR flip on the 236. These higher time frame fib levels are acting as the ranges on the way down, so it wouldn't be surprising for the price to range on the way up in between these major fib levels too. So that's kind of expected. At the moment, we're in this lower range. If you look at this, we're in the lower range here. And arguably this range is split into two, with the point of control dividing this lower range. We have this range here, another range here, and another range here, and then the rest. The rest is probably kind of somewhere there, and then the golden pocket is more of an area than a specific line. It's kind of what you're looking at now in terms of the price action. There's a high volume node here. And obviously the high volume node at the value area high, which is at the top end of the golden pocket. I won't mark it out, but it's there. So let me just put these into my create a group of drawings. Volume levels. All right, that's that. Get rid of these now. And what I'm going to do now is just quickly just draw these. I'll go to the higher time frame. I'll go to the 3-day chart now, just to see where the ranges begin and end. So basically, what I'm suggesting is that these major fib lines are acting as the boundaries of the ranges, and I'm going to take a volume pool from where the price enters the range and exits the range, and I'm just going to do that on every single bit of the range, the different ranges. Do these two, do this whole bottom bit. Okay, and then higher up, let me have a look at this. Probably right up to the value area high, and then probably the rest. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of volume and resistance there, because you have the value area high of this range, of the value area low of that range, plus the point of control, which is a high volume node. You've got the value area high of the overall range, and you've got the top part of the golden pocket. So we're looking at crazy strong resistance up there. We placed a short. Let me just quickly have a look at let me just put these into their own groups. And spell. Spell. Hide those. Just keep those for reference. Can hide those now. Just hide this fib retracement now. And just keep those. Now what I want to have a look at is the momentum of the market. See what it looks like. there you go. We're just about to form. So yeah, this is quite good, huh? So you had a golden cross there, and then it's kind of not being able to depth cross. So that's pretty good. You kind of want to see that. You don't want to see a depth cross. Look at the other charts. So we have still pretty strong downward momentum on the 3-day chart. You can see this 200 3-day moving average. It's still untested, untouched. So unfortunately, that's going to still kind of guide the price a little bit. On the weekly chart, we've finally come back above it. That's good. That's what you want to see. But there's still quite a strong downwards momentum. We haven't had the same thing as with TRVL. We haven't really had a relief rally, which kind of changes the momentum a little bit. We've never really relief rallied on this token. That being said, let me have a look at this move here. Is that it's quite impulsive, but I can't see 5 waves here. Can't see 5 waves. There's no 5 waves here, I don't think. Unless that's your wave 1, that's your wave 3, and that's your 5 to form your wave 1. Potentially, there's a potential kind of initial wave 1, with the wave 3 here being expansive. Potentially, it's hard to know whether that is it for the wave 1, and then we're in a long corrective 2. It's potentially there. Because it is quite impulsive. See, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, and then you have like the last impulse before it kind of goes into a longer term correction. There's something, potentially there's something there. As long as you don't make another low, which we're not, then potentially this is the whole thing here is a corrective 2. If that was the one, potentially. It's hard to see, but it could be, there could be like, that could be the wave 1. We're in a wave 2 now, and then I don't know if this is the beginning of the next wave. Okay, the only problem is that you have quite a strong downwards momentum from this downtrend, and it's pretty easy to see on the 3-day chart. This 200 moving average is still kind of trending downwards. We haven't flattened it out yet. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to push the price down. If you do go up, then potentially you'll correct back into it like that. So we just have to see how that kind of acts in the future. It's hard to know right now, but there is still a strong downward momentum on this token. Look at that as well. So look at all these things. That's good. Yeah, it's quite easy to see on the monthly time frame. You see how this monthly midpoint of this Bollinger Band, which is a 20 simple moving average, is still kind of steadfastly heading in the downward direction. There's still quite a lot of downward momentum on this token. You just got to bear that in mind. So we're still, I don't think we're in an uptrend right now, not just yet. And in terms of market structure, something because we have made an all-time low. It looks like, so that's your lower high. These are your lower lows. This is your higher high. This is the daily time frame. So to make a higher high on the daily time frame and change daily time frame market structure, the price has to get up there to form a higher high. And so basically at the moment we've made a higher high here. That's your lower high. This is your lower low. So if the price can get up there to change market structure, it needs to get above this high. That'll be your higher high, and this will be your higher low. But this only becomes a higher low after the price gets up there to make a new higher high. So if it doesn't, if the price can't get up there to make a higher high, then we have to see what happens, because the danger is if you can't, then you can always make a lower low, and then that could become your lower high. There's a lot of things that could happen because we still haven't changed daily market structure to bullish yet. It still hasn't happened. This was the first sign of a change, but it's not confirmed. The confirmation is if the price manages to get above that pivot high. And then obviously you have let me see, on the weekly time frame, you have the same problem on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, actually, when I'm looking at this now, this is your lower high. Potentially, because that was your lower low. Lower high. Lower low. Oh, actually, maybe not. Let me have a look. Maybe that is your lower high here, because we made a lower low here, then you made a lower high, then a lower low. So that's actually, potentially, that is your lower low. So actually, maybe that is your higher high on the weekly time frame, because if that was your lower low, from the lower high to lower low to lower high to lower low to higher high. So actually, maybe this will be a weekly market structure change as well if we can get above this high. So there's a bit of a, potentially there's a market structure change in play, but the key is going to be taking out this pivot high. I think that's really important to change market structure. This pivot high is really going to be important. There's simply people need to buy up there. So that's market structure. So we're still not in confirmed bullish market structure, and on the daily time frame, see on the daily time frame, higher high. So no, actually look, so this is interesting. On the daily time frame, you're making lower highs, you make higher highs. You're making lower lows, so this is your low to beat. So as long as the price, as far as market structure is concerned, as long as the price doesn't come back down underneath this level here, then we're holding a lower low, which is here. a higher low, which is here. That's your higher high. And if we make a new higher high, then the higher low moves to here. So we just have a higher low here. All right. So I mean, it's possible. There's possible market structure change in the works. As long as we don't make a lower low here, I think you don't even need to go to a all-time low, because at the moment I can see that that was your higher low before you made a higher high. So that's the low to beat if you want to change market structure back down to bearish. If the price was to get down to there, I think you're looking at an all-time low. So actually you'll know much sooner rather than later. It's this pivot low here that will identify a bit of a bearish continuation. That's quite important. So that's market structure, having a look at that. So there is a possibility of a change. Let me have a look at the candles. So we have a very strong yearly resistance here. I'm going to mark that off. Can't ignore those. That basically is at the same place as the value area high. You see that? So I mean, there's crazy strong resistance there. This is the difficulty with this token is I've just literally marked out pretty strong resistance up here. There is a danger with this token if it doesn't get crazy volume to push through. There is a danger that you just make a lower high on the yearly time frame, and then you're just ranging, or you're just continuing this bearish market structure. There is a danger. So effectively what I'm saying is it's the same thing with a lot of these tokens which make all-time lows, is that in this bull market you have to make another all-time high. You have to. It's really important that these tokens do that. On the 6-month time frame, that's a really nice reversal candle here. Getting a little bit of lag, not much, just a little bit. Let me know if it causes problems. This red doji is really nice. It's like a reversal candle. Let me just check something on my phone. Just have a look at my BTC trade actually, because I just got an alert. Give me a second. If my buy bit works. Oh god, it just had a little pumpy. Okay, it was long as just closed. Big long is just closed. Okay, that's fine. That looks okay. Still stay in the short. You get stopped out, you get stopped out. It's life. That's a really nice doji in the lows, increasing volume. That's kind of what you want to see for a reversal doji in the lows. So this is the formation, the beginning formation of a 6-month reversal pattern. This is a nice candle. This 3-month inverse hammer into the lows, increasing volume. That's a really nice reversal candle into the lows. That's kind of what you want to see. So that's like a bullish reversal candle. The price action is taking out the liquidity right up to this point. there is a bit of a SR flip here on these candles there, on the bottom of that wick. I'll mark it off just to see if we can see anything on the local time frame. And then that monthly level's been tapped. You have another monthly level up there. A few monthly levels, I'll mark those off. These monthly levels, liquidity levels. Again, up there in that yearly level, you have a monthly level there. You have a few. And then one up there. The problem, you see, the problem with the way the price dropped, and you can clearly see it on the monthly time frame, is that you've created two gigantic, ginormous green candles on the way down. Yeah. And so that's pretty bearish. It's like bearish price action. So as the price tries to get up somehow, these are basically going to act as order blocks for resistance. So there's quite a lot of strength in resistance higher up. So it's quite simply what happened was that a lot of people were bullish and they got trapped. And there was quite a large volume which trapped all of these people in the highs. So you have a lot of trapped liquidity in these highs, and it's pretty evident because you've got these green candles. I think a lot of people who are trapped will naturally place limit orders here to exit as the price comes back up. So you're going to have a little bit of a sell pressure in the price as the price comes up. Doesn't matter, it doesn't mean you can't get through it. It just means you're going to require a lot of volume. Basically, we're talking about a lot of volume. You see that volume? That's a lot of volume. That's 502 billion volume. And when you look at the current volume, these current green candles, they're relatively low. Look, that's 22 billion. That's 38 billion. This red candle here was 502 billion. You're basically going to need pretty much the same or more volume to get through that level, 500 billion plus, just to get through that level. That's just how it works. You just can't ignore it. You just can't ignore the trap liquidity, and it hasn't been cleared yet. That's the problem. So these are the monthly levels. Let me just quickly do the weekly levels. It's good practice to do these levels because when you're kind of buying and selling, you know roughly where to do it. Basically, these are the levels where you're going to find the most. That's cleared. You got what that's cleared. There's one up there. It's your weekly level. I won't put the cleared liquidity. I'll just put the fresh uncleared liquidity. See, that's cleared. That's fresh. A fresh one there. A fresh one there. A nice one there. Potentially there. I mean, it does go up and take it, so I won't mark it before it drops. I'll leave that one. That one's been cleared. This is now cleared. Underneath us, see, there's one there. I mean, it's been cleared because you see the candle goes down, clears it, and then comes up. It's still relevant. Just in case we do go down, it's good to have these levels. That's cleared, but it's relevant. And then again here, you see how it's cleared, but it's still relevant because it's at the lows. There isn't really, these aren't untapped liquidity levels. These are tapped at the lows. You would continue this exercise on the daily time frame, and potentially we're forming a daily candle level here. Potentially, if this daily candle closes green, which is really likely to happen, but who knows? I've got one there. I'll just put the untapped ones. There's one there. There's one lower down here. These are all cleared. There's nothing there. There we go. It's all stuck. I'll move that. These are all clear. There's one there. Cleared. These are all cleared. There's one there. There's a couple up there. And then that's the weekly. I won't mark it because it's in the same place. That's cleared. Right. So when you're looking at the price action, when you're looking at the liquidity levels, see these all cleared. The reason why you can know that they're cleared is because you see how the wicks go up. The wicks go up, clear it, and then the price drops. Clears the liquidity, and then the price drops. Clears, see that daily level? It might still be relevant, but the reality is that the price has gone up, cleared the liquidity, and then dropped. So that's a wash level. So it's less significant. It might still react, but it's less significant than an uncleared, untapped level. So this one that's forming now, see, it's untapped because the price hasn't traded through it yet. So when you're looking at all of these like higher time frame levels, it gives you a kind of an easy way to see where the liquidity levels are. And as you can see with the price action, there's quite a large amount of liquidity levels above the price action. That's what I was saying. It's not going to be an easy run up. There's that star flip. There it is. Put that there. Just mark that off. All right. That's that. We've got this SR flip right now. I'll leave that. And these are, I'll put these at the bottom, that's fine. I don't mind those. All right. Is there a launch price? Let me have a look and see. It's hard to tell if there's a launch price. It's kind of, don't know where it launched. 267. 267. Possibly there. Possibly that's a launch price, which is why it's come back into that level. We're above it now, so I'll ignore it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that resistance. It's like a crazy, it's like a rainbow of resistance up in those highs. And you have an SR flip in the way here. SR flip here, a bit higher up, and which is on a higher volume node. So basically, what you really need for the price to go up is you need this high volume node to flip into support. And I think this SR flip is really important because you can see here on the bottom of this wick, you see how the price reacts as it comes under resistance, support, resistance, and you have resistance in. So I think when it comes to price action, this white line that I have, this SR flip, which is just above this high volume node, is really important. Okay, but you have a lot of other important lines. This 236 is important. I mean, basically all the fib levels are important. Okay, we're coming into a fib level now. Even if we get above there, we're into resistance. Get above there, that will be an easy run potentially. Yeah, I mean, it's foreseeable that the price can, in the bull market, get to the higher prices, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to get through the value area high. Basically, that yearly level, that this is it. This is the real kind of this golden pocket. This whole area, and look at all of that liquidity above it. Look at all of that. It's too much. So from here to the first kind of crazy resistance that I'm contemplating, from where we are now to the golden pocket, it's only a 4.7x. It's not much. It's not much. In one sense, that's good because it means people aren't, they might hodl, but I mean, you just need volume to get through that. And realistically, like just being realistic, to get through the golden pocket, which is also the value area high of this whole range, the overall range, you're just not going to do it in one simple pass. It's just not going to happen. You might have to have a few attempts. You kind of have to clear liquidity to go up. It's not going to be easy. No, I can't see ease in getting through there. All right. And I can't see a trade right now because we've already had two quite expansive green weeks, and we're kind of pushing into resistance, which is this 236 level. And then once you clear the resistance, you're straight into resistance, like 20-30% up, you're into resistance. It's only then after you clear this SR flip that you can make another 42% up to the 382, which will act as resistance. From the 382 to the 50%, that's another 65% up, right? The best trade here, in my mind, would be back at the point of control. Like literally, like I think just looking at this price action, if I was interested to pick up this token, I would want it right now. I'd want it as low as possible. I wouldn't chase the pump. I'd look for the correction and another correction potentially. As long as we don't make a lower low here, then we're still good. Doesn't mean this can't come back down. Like, why not? It's done it once before. Look, we went up like this. Correction. Another one. Let's have a correction. Yeah, it's really correct. Come back down once more. That's kind of what I would want as like if I was thinking about trading this. I wouldn't, or if we saw some strength, like I don't really like the idea of buying into a high volume node here. How far is the price to that high volume node? It's only 39%. Like even if you were to enter here, you would take profit there. There would be a pullback. Do you hold the 236 after you get up there and take profit? I don't know. If you don't, then it will go down again. So realistically speaking, what I would be more interested in doing is allowing the momentum of the market to diminish. Quite easy to see the momentum. You just look at these moving averages on the higher time frame, like this 200 moving average on the 3-day chart. Just let that diminish. It's going to take a little bit of time. Maybe the price will just come back down. Hold support, the POC. That would be a good entry. The best entry obviously will be to take these lows, but then you're back underneath the point of control, which you don't really want to do, because then you take the trade and you still have to sell into the point of control. So in the context of what I'm seeing, maybe what would be better is to let the price continue to correct and then try and catch potentially. You know, I could be wrong, but maybe that, maybe sometime in June. Dare I say it? If it can correct and come down there, be a good place to buy it. Then if we can get the price back up, then we get pounds up there. Potentially, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm potentially seeing in the price action, and this is just one idea of an imagination. Anything can happen in crypto, anything can happen, but one thing that isn't going to happen is for us to get through this golden pocket, value area high of the whole range, the yearly level and other levels easily. There's no way we're going to get through. So whatever happens, whoever is in along here, wherever they enter, whenever it happens in the future, that will be your big take profit here. Massive take profit. Like, you're almost out. That's only a 5x up roughly, and then you'll just wait for the correction and then see where it lands, potentially for another attempt. And then the problem is time is running out, you know, because you've only got the bull market to do this. The Bitcoin bull market, it's only going to last a year and a half, who knows? A year and a half. Got a year and a half to get past this level at the highs. It's not an easy feat. So they would literally have to do something amazing. It'd have to be like unbelievably bullish news that can get us through to these higher liquidity levels, into the all-time high. That's kind of what I'm thinking about there. If there is a trade to be had, unfortunately, I'm just going to be ultra conservative about it. It's going to be there. So I'm going to be ultra conservative, because you want a really good entry. Yeah, see, that's the golden pocket as well. If you go up to the 236 on this pivot low, that's the golden pocket. That would be the best entry for a trade now. And then you could just you then think about targeting. That would be like the best risk to reward trade. You're only looking at a 6.5x, but based on your invalidation, you could be looking at a 1 to 50 or whatever, depending on how wide your invalidation is. If it's just all the way down to there, that's like a 1 to 50 trade. And that's it really. And then just you'd be out. Most of your position will be out, the golden pocket, and then potentially, if it takes too long to get there, if it just takes too long, you're potentially making a lower high on the monthly time frame. That won't look good, because if you end the bull market unable to break through that area, then guess what? You're heading to the lows potentially. So you have to bear that in mind. That's a real danger for this token if it can't press through to get to the all-time high. All right, that's this. Ariva, don't even know what it is. Have a look. Curious. It's a shame, but the world's first tourism metaverse. Ariva. Let me put this on my screen so people can see it. See that? A fully generation limitless travel experience. Virtual Second Life. Well, look, if oh, there was a hacker. Look, my guess is that all the people crying over alleged hacks will soon regret they didn't rebuy and securely distribute the tokens amongst private addresses. On one occasion, some of the buyers were hacked. The team refunded everyone, but they continued to keep their overcoins in the wallet. That's already been hacked. I'm bullish. 1000x? Fuck me, 1000x. Do you know where 1000x is going to put you? It's not even practical, 1000x. Like, I don't know how these people come up with these targets. I'll keep all this just in case my predictions come true. Keep an eye on it. If I do let me go back to my screen so you can see it. So I always have to flip between screens. Is that it? So what's 1000x going to do for the price? Let's have a look. Look, if you do a fib extension, your extension is only like 1.2272 from the current price. If you were to extend, you have to get through a shitload of liquidity to get there. That's a 93x. How is this guy coming up with 1000x? If you were to overextend to the 1.618, this is an overextension from the current price. That's a 402x. So don't ever listen to these like crazy moon boys who are imagining 1000x. 1000x would put us to 1000x. So there's not even a fib level there. Like, this guy's just making that shit up, to be honest with you. And then you're going through 3 extension levels. It's just not realistic. These people don't have a clue. Literally have no clue. I think if it's already hard enough to get through the liquidity here. Don't care if it was hacked or not. The fact of the matter is there's a large amount of volume put in at the highs, and there's a large amount of liquidity here. Plus you have confluence with the golden pocket, the value area high, the yearly level, like other kinds of levels. It's not realistic. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, with increasing volume, you're able to get through. Then you're only looking at potentially this target. Why? Because anyone who's in it from the lows, from anywhere in the lows, by that point in time, they're already going to be 134x up. They're going to take profit. Do you know what happens when you take profit? You sell. Do you know what happens when you sell? The price goes down. So don't listen to these idiots who are imagining 1000x. It's just not realistic. Yeah, you're basically looking at a black swan in the upward direction to take this token to 1000x. This guy writes 10,000x. Hold on, I want you to see this madness. And this is the problem. Like, these people really have no idea. Look, a reaver jumping like aeroplane, 10,000x. It's madness. But anyway, I mean, maybe I don't know about this project. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's got a good. Let's have a look at the Twitter. It's got a big following. That's good. It's the most comprehensive tourism and travel ecosystem in crypto space. I mean, it could be good. They don't really post enough either. Look, they only posted on February the 14th. It's the February the 25th. Why are these guys not posting more? Like, we're in the middle of a bull market. Dude, you guys should be posting 4, 5, 6, 10 times a day. Like, what's wrong with these people? Do they not realize they have 1 year to turn this around? They probably don't. They need help. They need to ask me what to do. I'll tell them. Happy Chinese New Year to our incredible supporters. Dude, post like tell people why this is a good project. You know, like people are like, right now they're looking to invest. Give them a reason. And I don't mind it's tourism. Like, I'm into TRVL, and I like the idea. I mean, I'm an Airbnb superhost, so I know about tourism. So I don't want it to fail, but let's be realistic. I want to see pictures as well. I can't see pictures. I really don't know what to do here. Start. Book your dream holiday. Where is it? Visit website. There it is. Villa soon. Well, I mean, it'd be good to get Dtravel connected to that. Actually, you never know. So basically, they're doing what Dtravel is doing, right? Let's have a look. Guest citizenship cannot be blank. What does that mean? Guest citizenship. Don't understand. What is this rubbish? It's a little bit slower. It's not working. It's not good. Let's book a flight to New York. Can I just click on New York? I'm not fond of it. I can't tell you that I'm fond of this site yet. Not fond of it. It's hard to tell. Yacht. Soon. What does it say? It's rubbish. I'm just like, I'm already tired of that site. What else is there? Let me see what the game is like. Where's the game? Travel around the universe. Into the future. Yeah, I mean, it could work. Look at that. You like animes. Travel in the metaverse, time travel. It's basically a second life, huh? I feel like they're doing too much, huh? They should just focus. Like, I don't understand certain aspects of what I'm seeing. I don't want to be negative, like who knows, but when it comes to the charts, I can't be crazy bullish, just simply because of the liquidity levels that I've identified. That's all. I don't care if it was hacked or not. The reality is that you have you know you have a lot of resistance there. All right, that's my Ariva update. I'll do a couple of other things as well, just for the sake of fun. Let's see. Sometimes I use this GAN fan. You see, there's a little bit of. There you go. You see how on this GAN, from the all-time high basically down to here, there's like resistance, and support, and support. So based on this GAN fan, you know, the 2-1 probably will resist, and the 3-1 and the 4-1 and the 8-1 probably. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. So just bear that in mind. Now, if I was to pull that back, yeah, there's something going on here. There's something to be aware of as well. All right. What else? All right, I think I'm done with that. Any questions? No questions. All right. That's Ariva. Oh god, I wanted to do AR. What was it? ANRD. ANRD. Let's have a look. Or ANDR. ANDR. SD. Andromeda. Oh god. There's no charting here. No, it's just you've just launched. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to chart. What the hell is this? Okay, there is more data. So Andromeda's just launched on Nex, which is why that chart looks so crazy. Oh god, it's January. Okay, so it only launched in January 2024. So it's a new token. January the 20th, 24. Quite good trading volume. There's no market cap data. Decentralized on-chain operating system. All right. These are the guys. Michelle, Chief of Staff. She's like, she should work at the White House, Chief of Staff. Mant. Brendan, yeah. Look at these guys. Core contributor. So it went on Max. See that? Partnerships, next level of gaming. I'm not really familiar with any of this stuff, so I can't comment. It says Web3 made easier.
The Andromeda operating system, or AOS, is the first Web3 native multi-chain and cross-chain operating system. AOS makes Web3 easier, better, faster. AOS is where Web3 starts and the multi-chain future begins. Users get a familiar browser-based operating system experience. Creators and developers of all skill levels get access to a suite of tools that allows them to build apps in minutes instead of months across a vast new design space. The AOS file system is where users find all their Web3 assets, DeFi instruments, NFTs, real-world assets, and tools with top-tier capabilities. The Andromeda App Store is where you can acquire the tools, pre-built templates, or pre-built apps you need for your project. When you create apps, you can list them for others to purchase. The ADO Builder is where you build or configure Andromeda Digital Objects, or ADOs, which are disruptively unique tools to rapidly create and compose Web3 apps, taking development time from other created blockchains. When you use ADOs and apps, that makes sense, and the configurable market.
All right, I think we know what it is now. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. It's could be good. It just launched on Max, so on Max it's already up 2x. Let me see if I can find a better chart, because I can't chart this. This is pointless. ANDR USDT. Can't see that there's nothing there. Andromeda, let me try that. Let me try something else. Rubbish. This is one. I want all this data here. Where was it trading? And the stacks. See that? That's the volume is there as well. Kujira. There you go. Found it. What do I do? I need to change this to daily. So there's still not enough data. Oh, yeah, there is. Look, see? You can't, I mean, you can't. So look, so it just launched. Where's my toolbar? Need my toolbar. How do I get my toolbar? Right, I'm just gonna have to do it on this stupid screen now. Let's get rid of this stuff. What is all this rubbish? I'm going to get rid of all of this. What's that? Show object tree. Where's my toolbar? Oh, my toolbar. Sucks. How do people chart on this? It's like impossible. Right, I'm going to do it on a small screen. What the hell? This is a nightmare. Oh. Right. That works. That doesn't. It's only a 2x up from the low. Notched. This rise up is low volume. Decreasing volume, sorry. But the volume on the most part, all of this rise is good volume. I can't actually do anything with this because I can't use this tool, which is the one I want. It won't let me. Let me just volume. Let me do it. Yeah, for some reason it won't let me do it. They've really made it difficult for people to chart on their application because you can't see that data that I want, and you can clearly see it's there. There. I'm trying it like this now. Not there. That's what I want. It's not working. Right. It's a bit of a waste of time, isn't it? I think with this kind of token, you just have to scale in now and see what happens. It's not difficult to scale into this, and it's a bit of a gamble, to be honest with you. I mean, the price is just going up. That was a profit take candle. Let me just have a look at these candles. Is there a drawing tool? See, that doesn't even work either. So this website is a bit trash. But look. These are your daily candles. That was a good candle. Expansion. All of these are back tests. There's a clear SR flip here. Okay. Another bullish reversal. And then the price came back and it kind of back tested there. Somewhere there. So there's a couple of SR flips on the way up. This is an untapped weekly level there. And the price is just kind of rallying up. This candle is a weekly candle, is it? Or a daily candle? It's the daily candle. Let's have a look. These are daily candles. So your weekly candles are closing. It's a bullish weekly candle. Oh. That's what I want. That's where that data came from. So Nintendo drawing. Oh damn. It is working, but it doesn't work. No challenge. Oh, the fuck. What a pain in the ass. What bar do I want? Alright. Alright, so I think a good entry is this red candle. Actually, I honestly, I can't tell. It's hard, but I think if anyone wants to enter, just wait for a pullback until this red daily candle, and you can buy the top of it. That's basically the best entry, assuming this remains bullish. Or you could just scale in. It's not far down. Could probably scale in. It's a new token, and it's worth having a look. Let's have a look at this one instead. Be easier to have a look. Where was that? $1. Yeah, look. So what you want to do, assuming, I mean, because look, this is the all-time high now. You're not going to buy the all-time high, are you? You want to pull back. So naturally, this is the best place to buy it. Probably about $1. Anywhere here would be good. $1. That's what I'm thinking. And that's keep it pretty simple, because it's a brand new token. It could pump to the moon and you'll miss the move, or it will pull back and you'll get a really great entry and it will continue to pump then. And basically that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's the trade. And it's pretty, like, I mean, it could go up, but it could just come back down, and who knows? No one can predict the future. Probably this is a good entry right here. And on this chart, it's basically the top of this red candle, this daily candle, which is the value area high of the whole range. That would be a good entry. So that's basically, we're looking at about 1.055 thereabouts. It's a bit lower than this. It's kind of down here actually. So on that chart, the entry is down here. All right. I don't really have anything more to say. Just, who knows? It probably, like, I think with these new tokens, what you have to remember is that they're brand new. It's a bull market. It's price discovery. These are low market cap tokens. They're probably going to go up 10x, maybe more. Who knows? Probably. And it's that most of it is speculative, but I mean, if the project is launching out good things, then people are going to get really bullish. So it's worth keeping an eye on this one. I'll keep an eye on it. But it's already up 12% today. I'm not going to buy a token that's up 12%. I'm going to wait for the pullback. It's just simply, it makes sense. I'm not going to ape into this at the all-time high. That doesn't make any sense. even though it's in price discovery, I think just wait for the pullback. I might miss it, might miss the move, but who knows. It is making higher lows though, you know, that's the other thing. Like, you're making higher lows, higher highs, so it might not do that. Maybe it just comes that and then it just continues doing that, and that just, this just continues. Who knows? All right, enough of that rubbish. No, it's not rubbish, I'm just kidding. All right, anyone else? No one? All right, I think I'm going to end it for today. Long stream, but fun. See you tomorrow.